This part of the video tutorial covers the model setup tab. So if we start by looking here, this is where each of the different tab types are described. The model setup tab is used to define key parameters of the model and to visualize descriptive indicators. So if we just look here, here are all of the different parameters. All of the gray boxes are boxes that you can change, and all of the white boxes or boxes in other colors are boxes that you should not change anything in because they usually have formulas. So if we go back to the cover page and look at the detailed instructions for the model setup, first we have general data. So this is data that is reported throughout the model. If we find general data here, the first thing to look at is the starting month and year. So when you go into the field and do the interviews, this would be the first month that you would be asking the farmers about. So here it's February 2016. If we just change it to January, and it changes here, and you can see that the first month in the questionnaire would be January. So if we go back to the model setup, the next thing would be the currency. Here it's set to Ugandan shillings. Target activity, that's coffee, and that's it for the general data. So if we go back to the cover page and look at the next thing, that would be incoming payments. We can have a maximum of 10 receipts categories for our target group, and it's best to list those from most likely to least likely. So look at the incoming payments here. Here it's set to T cells, so we're doing coffee here, so that should be coffee. And then we can see if we look at the interview sheet that coffee sales is here. So everything here is taken directly from the model setup here. So if you change anything here, it will change in all the questionnaires. So the next thing is the outgoing payments. It's basically the same story there. We have a maximum of 20 expense categories. So if we want to change anything, we would be changing that right here, and that would change in the interview sheets right here. Next thing to look at would be the DFS category. So that is here. It's important to select the correct category because that affects the analysis tab. So this is something that you have to look into during your interviews. So for coffee sales, they are set to merchant payments right now because Chakalani Coffee is paying farmers for the coffee using the merchant payments fee structure. For livestock, farmers would be buying livestock from other farmers using P2P payments, and that's why it's set to P2P payments here. Remittances, that's a different fee structure, and that's why we have to set P2P remittances here. Loans received, there will be service payments, and so on. Next thing to look into would be the DFS tariffs. So it's important that these numbers are correct. These are numbers that are subject to change. In order for the analysis tab to make the correct calculations, it's important to make sure that your numbers are up to date.